The murder of Kenny Ong. A family dinner filled with joy and laughter changed into a poignant tragedy. Who would have thought that a peaceful night spent with loved ones would turn into a horrendous event? This tragic murder happened 17 years ago in 2003. The murder of Kenny Ong received the attention of many medias from all over the world. On the night of June the 13th, Kenny Ong with her beloved family and friends visited Bangsa Shopping Center for dinner. At 10:30 p.m. upon finishing their dinner, Kenny went to take her parking ticket, which she left in her car parked at the mall's basement. 20 minutes passed and Kenny still has not returned upstairs to her family. Kenny's mother and sister then went looking for her and were shocked to discover that both Kenny and her car were already missing. A policeman who was patrolling in an area felt suspicious when he saw a car left by the roadside. He came closer to investigate. Seen in the car were a man and a woman. With no hesitation, the man calmly said his name to the policeman while offering his IC. "My name is AHMAD Najib Aris." Kenny in the car clasped her hands together in a pleading manner to signal help. Feeling doubtful, the policeman insisted that the man step out, but he drove away immediately in fear. The policeman fired the car tire twice, but the car moved too fast until it was out of sight. At around 12 a.m., a woman, Amina, stopped her car by the road on the way to KLIA. The suspect, Ahmad Najib, came asking to borrow a car jack from Amina. When he drove away after he was done, Amina felt in her guts that something was definitely off. She quickly went to lodge a report. At 1 a.m. June the 14th, a man named Azizam was on his way to his office in Jalan Klang Lama. Feeling tired, he decided to rest shortly at an R&R. There, he saw a woman, Kenny Ong, lying down in a car. The car drove away before Azizam could even do anything. Azizam did not feel suspicious, so he went on with his day normally. After he was done working, he once again drove past the R&R where he met the same car at the same place. Azizam walked to the car to check it out. There was no one and nothing left besides a sling bag left in the back seat. Azizam then proceeded to check the bag and stole a telephone which belonged to Kenny. Later that night, the police found Kenny's car in Petaling Jaya. The back seat was covered in blood. The car was brought to the police station for further investigations. On the 17th, Malaysians were shocked to meet the news of a charred body found in Jalan Klang Lama. The body was unable to be identified. Based on investigation done by a pathologist, the body was found with its hands tied together with a piece of cloth. He believed that the cause of death was because the body was strangled. A DNA test was done and it was confirmed that the body found was the body of the victim, Kenny Ong. A parking ticket, strands of hair, and blood were found in the car. On the 20th of June, the suspect's house was checked by the police and they found a pair of pants covered in blood. A used condom was also found. A DNA test was done and the result matched Kenny's DNA. The surveillance footage from Bangsa Shopping Center's parking space clearly showed that the suspect forcibly pushed the victim into her car and drove away, crashing into the barrier gate. All of this evidence led to the detention of Ahmad Najib. When asked in court, Ahmad Najib unashamedly confessed of doing a sexual intercourse with the victim. What made it more disgusting is that he lied about the intercourse being done voluntarily with the victim's free consent. However, no one believed him. In the end, Ahmad Najib admitted that he threatened the victim by pointing a knife at her. Ahmad Najib confessed to murdering Kenny Ong when she was struggling to break free. 2 stab wounds were found on the victim's body. After getting rid of the body in a manhole, the suspect proceeded to burn the victim. Police investigation proved that the suspect had no clear motive or intention in performing such a gory crime. In simpler words, he did it spontaneously, just for his own pleasure. Ahmad Najib was convicted for rape and murder. He was convicted to death.
The appellant, Ahmad Najib Aris, was convicted in the High Court for rape and murder of Kenny Ong Lek Kian. He was convicted under the Section 302 and Section 376 of the Penal Code. According to Section 302, whoever commits murder shall be punished by death. Meanwhile, in Section 376 stated that whoever commits rape shall be punished by imprisonment for a term that may extend to 20 years and whipping. After a lot of unavoidable and strong proofs, Ahmad Najib Aris was sentenced to 20 years of imprisonment, whipping of 10 strokes for raping, and death for murder.
5th March 2007 was the date of the hearing of the case. AHMAD NAJIB ARIS against Public Prosecutor at the Court of Appeal Putrajaya. This appeal took almost 11 years to complete. During the trial, besides the evidence, a confession was made by the appellant and he was recorded under Section 115 of the Criminal Procedure Code. However, AHMAD NAJIB ARIS made an appeal to the court on the ground that he was pressured to confess by the police. He appealed on the conviction and sentence. The judge then learned that there were plenty of indications proving that the appellant did not confess in a state of contrition. Instead, he only wanted to get himself a lighter sentence. Hence, his appeal was dismissed. The conviction and sentence were confirmed, and on the 23rd of September 2016, the suspect was sentenced to death at 6 in the morning.
In the case of AHMAD NAJIB ARIS against Public Prosecutor 2007, there are 3 ratio decidendi. The first ratio decidendi can be found in the paragraph 130, which is the evidence in its totality is only capable of one inference, and that is that whatever that the appellant had done to the victim that caused her death was done with the intention of causing death, so as to fall under line A. Secondly, in paragraph 127, the victim, having been abducted by the appellant, a total stranger, when engaged in the innocent activity of getting the parking ticket from the car and been driven in a state of fear to the fateful destination by the appellant, who was intent on accomplishing his designs on her, it is impossible to entertain any doubt that the intercourse was done without the free consent of the victim. Lastly, in paragraph 128, viewing the evidence as a whole, including the fact that the appellant had raped the victim, there would be no basis for entertaining any probability that the appellant did what he did other than with the intention of causing the death of the victim.
This tragic murder of Kenny Ong by AHMAD NAJIB ARIS is one of the most gruesome murders in Malaysia. What made this event more despairing is that Kenny Ong went through a number of situations where she could have gotten safe, but unfortunately she had no chance to escape. Kenny Ong remains in our memories. Though we may not know her personally, her story gives huge impacts to our society. The same event might happen again to someone else, and it might be currently happening to innocent victims around us without us knowing. It is no doubt that rapists are the ones to be blamed, but we should still take precautions. If you're a victim of assault, speak up on your terms. Let these criminals face the punishment that they deserve. To everyone watching this video, be cautious and stay safe always.